Welcome back, everyone. This is Tsubaki, and how have your endeavors been? Have you learned all of the kana? If so, we are going to practice by reading some Japanese everyday expressions. So, we will start from the top and see how good we are at recognizing these symbols. Okay, so first one. Ohayo. 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 Notice that the extends the o sound at the end of yo. Ohayo. So, an sound, if we have then it extends the o sound. Okay? Also, in the same way, the e extends the e sound. So as an example, maybe you've heard this before. This is sensei. Sensei. It's not sensei. It's kind of hard to pronounce that way. But the e extends the s sound at the end of se. So it's sensei. Okay? So same logic here for ohayo. It's ohayo, not ohayo. And that's how we say it naturally in Japanese. So ohayo, ohayo, ohayo. And that means, what does it mean? Yes, it means good morning. Good morning, ohayo. Next one is the same thing, except we have a suffix, gozaimasu, which just makes it more polite. So if you can say ohayo gozaimasu, then you'll be seen as a very polite person. What a nice guy or girl. Ohayo gozaimasu. Good morning. And I'm sure you've all heard this. Konnichiwa. The ha at the end is pronounced as wa because of particle. Because the wa, the ha at the end is actually a particle. And this particle is wa. We'll learn that later. But for now, this is konnichiwa. And it means hello. And it's used in the daytime where the sun is shining and there's daylight outside. Now the next one, konbanwa, also means hello, except it's used when the sun is down and it's nighttime, it's evening. You say konbanwa. And maybe you've noticed, but the n, the syllable, it's pronounced n. It's one whole syllable. So it has the same weight as all the other syllables. Konbanwa, konbanwa. Okay. Next one. Sayonara. Sayonara means goodbye. And it's a more severe goodbye than goodbye in English. Sayonara is more like, say you see your friend after you visit your friend, and then you leave, and you won't see him again for maybe a year. Then, or even let's just say for a week. Then you say sayonara. Maybe there's something that you have to do. There will be some sort of events that will happen. That's something significant that will separate this meeting with your friend from the next meeting with your friend. And that's when you say sayonara. I'll see you until the next time we meet. But yeah, there are more casual goodbyes, and that just say like something like see you later. I will learn that later on. And the next one, oyasumi nasai. Oyasumi nasai. It means good night. So if you're going to go sleep, say good night. おやすみなさい. And this good night is not used as it is used in America or in English. It's used when you are going to go to sleep pretty soon. So おやすみなさい. Good night. And we have ありがとう. ありがとう, which means thanks, of course. ありがとう and ありがとうございます. It's more polite. Thank you very much. Next one, すみません. すみません. It means either excuse me or I'm sorry. すみません. So say you need to get through a crowd and you're trying to make your way through the crowd. Then you go, oh, excuse me. You say すみません. Okay, next one. いいえ. いいえ literally means no. It's a negative response, but it can be also used to say something like you're welcome or don't mention it or no problem. So if someone says ありがとう, you go いいえ, like dude, it's all right. I don't need your thanks because that was no problem. Then you say いいえ. Okay. Next one. 行ってきます. 行ってきます. It means I'm going to go and come back. So basically it means I'm going out. So when you say you leave home and you're like, oh, I'm going out, I'm going to the mall or something, you go 行ってきます. And the person that I guess sees I guess so you're going to the mall and say your brother goes, oh, okay, well, see you then. Then he says 行ってらっしゃい, which means I guess it's akin to have a safe trip, or well, not really have a safe trip. Basically like, okay, I'll see you then. After you get back home. So 行ってきます. The proper response or the usual response is 行ってらっしゃい. And then when you come back home, you say ただいま, which literally means the present time or right now. But when you say it when you come back home, it means I'm home. So first you go, I'm going to the mall. 行ってきます. Your brother says 行ってらっしゃい. Then you have fun shopping at the mall. Then you come back and you're like ただいま. And your brother says おかえりなさい. おかえりなさい. Which means welcome home. おかえりなさい. So yeah, they're very useful expressions to know. And if you know this and you say it to a Japanese person, they will be quite, I don't know, fond of you. This is おかえりなさい. And next one, I'm sure you've all heard this. いただきます. いただきます. And that means, oh, well, it's used when you're going to eat. So say your family has prepared you dinner, or say you prepared dinner for your son, and your son is going to eat it, he'll say いただきます, which means I humbly receive this food and I will now chow down and nom nom nom. So he goes いただきます. And after he's finished his food, he says, ah, the food was so great. It was such a wonderful feast. Then he says ごちそうさま. ごちそうさま means it was a great meal. It was an awesome food that I had. And yeah, so those two go together. Next one, どうも, is a casual way to say nice to meet you, or it can also mean very, as in like I'm very thankful. So you can add it to ありがとう and say どうもありがとう. どうもありがとうございます. Which means I'm very, very, very thankful. Or you can say どうもすみません, which means I'm terribly sorry. as we learned earlier. I hope you still remember ありがとう and すみません. So yeah, or you can just say, if someone brings you a drink and you're like, oh, thanks, you can just say どうも, as in short for どうもありがとう. And you can just say どうも. But yeah, also you can say it to greet, for greeting, like, oh, nice to meet you, どうも. Next one is more direct, is はじめまして, which means pleased to meet you for the first time. So はじめまして literally means I meet you for the first time. So はじめまして. And then どうぞよろしく. どうぞよろしく. This means pleased to be working with you, or I hope we'll do well together. Something sort of like that. There's not really a literal translation in English, but that's the closest parallel. Something like, I hope we'll do well together. どうぞよろしく. And also you can just say よろしく, it's shorter. どうぞよろしく is more polite. And then you can always say どうぞよろしくお願いします. So you see, the longer it is, the more polite it is. Isn't that just great? どうぞよろしくお願いします means the same thing, except it's more polite. And お願いします literally means I'm asking this of you. And we'll all get into that later on. But before that, I want to point out these two. 行ってきます and 行ってらっしゃい. Notice that these つ are smaller than usual. That means that they indicate a pause of equal length. So you have い, a small つ, and then てきます. And you just pause at the syllable. 行ってきます。行ってきます。行ってきます。Same thing for this. 行ってらっしゃい。行ってらっしゃい. And that's how you read it. That's how you pronounce it for the small つ. If anyone was confused, I'm sorry I didn't go over it earlier. But yeah, that's how it works. It's not really that complicated. 行ってきます and 行ってらっしゃい. Make sure when you're writing it, you do make it small. Don't make it too big. And you can always make it very obviously small. It doesn't have to be like this. Yeah. And well, that would be all the greetings that you really need for your normal everyday greetings. We'll read them again, and then that'll be the end of this lesson. So yeah, let's go over them. おはよう、おはようございます。こんにちは、こんばんは。さようなら、おやすみなさい。ありがとう、ありがとうございます。すみません。いいえ。行ってきます。行ってらっしゃい。ただいま、お帰りなさい。いただきます。ごちそうさま。どうも。はじめまして。どうぞよろしく。どうぞよろしくお願いします。And that will be all of them. I hope you've learned all the hiragana by now, because I will never use any romaji since you have learned all of them. And you are awesome for doing so. And we will continue our lesson very soon. So please stay tuned, and I'll see you then.